All right, today the number of coronavirus cases here in San Diego crossed 10,000, and county leaders reported 8 new community outbreaks in the last week. So joining us now live to talk about what that means moving forward is Supervisor Nathan Fletcher. Supervisor, let's begin with the community outbreaks. Tell us why that's such an important trigger to monitor.
Well, out of all the triggers we have 3 that individually stand alone cause us to take action. And one of those is 7 new community outbreaks within 7 days. And so for the first time in the coronavirus pandemic, we triggered that trigger. We've had 8 new community outbreaks in the last 7 days. And so the actions we're taking are any new guidance from the state on new reopenings, we will pause for implementation. We also are going to look at targeted enforcement around really egregious violators if there's individual instances where entities are clearly not complying. And then the third really is just a plea for the public to really embrace and understand the seriousness of this remains. You see cases, hospitalizations skyrocketing around the country and in California, and we want to continue to do well. And so we're not overreacting to what happens, but we did cross a trigger. We'll monitor tomorrow and through the weekend and continue to make adjustments as we need.
All right, so help us understand what some of these future reopenings that could be delayed are if we hit that trigger, and what does each day look like? You talk about the next couple of days, tomorrow, or other days moving forward. So what are you monitoring and what might now be delayed?
Well, so let's take what we're monitoring is the number of impacts in 7 days, and I think it's important to note that we're at 8 right now, but it was 7 days ago that we had 3 standalone triggers, and so those 3 will fall off tomorrow. And so it is entirely possible and perhaps likely that tomorrow we may get back under that threshold and be back in an okay situation and setting. And so that's why we really have to monitor it through the weekend and see. Community outbreaks are important to monitor because these are outbreaks that are happening at people's houses where they're having parties, a social club that got together, a restaurant, a business, a church, and they're geographically dispersed throughout the county. And so there's no particular trend that we can focus on other than increased people are getting together. And there is increased spread associated with it. In terms of what we're still waiting on for guidance from the state, there's not a ton of things left. We certainly have youth sports in terms of organized league play. We have theme parks. We have a handful of concerts, a handful of other types of things. And we don't know when that guidance would come out. And when it does come out, we don't know the posture we'll be in at that point. But it's just a powerful reminder to all of us that the spread is increasing and we really have to do our part to contain and slow the spread.
Okay, let's talk about theme parks because obviously that's a big part of San Diego here. The aquarium at Legoland, for example, is planning on reopening on Saturday. SeaWorld is shooting for July 1st reopening. So how does today's announcement possibly change that?
Well, we don't know. The state still hasn't put out guidance around theme parks, and so they won't be in a position to be able to open until they get that guidance from the state. And so when that guidance is released from the state, they often release it and then have an earliest date counties can go. And so we'll really have to wait for that guidance, see when we get it, see what their date is, and then really see where we are. We've often said that one day does not make a trend. A trend is over time. In this instance, one day did hit the trigger, but we really want to see what happens Friday, Saturday, into the weekend and into early next week. And so it's really too early to speculate on what might happen in the future. Other than we really encourage public, please utilize face coverings. Please maintain physical distancing. We are all in this together and we need everyone to be our partner in helping slow the spread.
I want to talk about those face coverings in just a moment, but does it look like, based on what we're seeing, that the spread of the virus is speeding up in any way here in San Diego? I know in certain spots of California it certainly appeared to be the case, and we have these outbreaks, I guess, throughout the county. So what does it look like overall as far as these clusters and the effect on all of San Diego County?
Well, we believe as more people gather, there's obviously more opportunity for spread, and that's certainly happening. I think one thing that's a little concerning is the number of spreads that are happening in places where, we still don't have, under the public health orders, the ability to have large house parties. That's not really allowed. And so when we get outbreaks associated with things that we shouldn't be doing, it really has the potential to slow us down. And we don't want that. We want to continue to be able to move forward and go through. I think because it's geographically spread in terms of outbreaks, and it's not one particular entity. It's not like all 9 things happened in one particular venue or entity where we could say that's the problem. I think the broader problem is just too many people getting together indoors, not utilizing protections. And so it is a trigger. The other thing that could be concerning is hospitalizations is a lagging indicator. meaning you have to have significant community spread before people get it and develop symptoms at that level. And that's really what we're trying to prevent is significant spikes in hospitalization. So we need to avoid significant spikes in cases. And so that's where we're really trying to focus. And again, it's kind of hard. We were locked in and we were all focused, and then we started opening up. And there's a lot of misinformation out there that this wasn't real or there's no danger and that type of stuff. And we're fighting through all of that and really hoping to have the overwhelming majority of San Diegans join us in the efforts to allow us to continue to on a positive path to reopening.
It does feel like there's a lot of groupthink out there where it's like, well, we're easing this, we're easing that, and that person's not wearing it, so I won't. But let's talk about masks, because the governor today came out with the mask requirement across the state of California, indoors in public and outdoors in public if you're within 6 feet of somebody else. So how does what the governor put out today differ from what we have going on here in San Diego County, and how might we change to comply and kind of line up with what Governor Newsom laid out today?
Yeah, it doesn't change much here in San Diego. We were one of only a handful of counties in California that had mandatory face coverings that have been in effect for quite some time. And we've taken a lot of heat for that position. I think in an area where there's a lot of misinformation, this is one of the greatest. We have multiple peer-reviewed scientific studies that show that the face coverings significantly reduce the spread, which is why we have it in as mandatory. And I know it's inconvenient and I know it's uncomfortable, but it really is a small price to pay for us to not only save lives, but save our economic recovery. And so what the governor did today was basically take what we've been doing in San Diego and make it mandatory, but do it statewide. We did take their specific language and incorporate it into our public health order. There's no significant change in what it means. You outlined it very clearly. If you're a customer and you go into a business, you need to wear it. If you work in a business and you're around customers or you're within 6 feet of your coworkers, you need to wear it. And when you're outside and you're going to come within 6 feet of someone not in your household, you ought to wear it. And so we are changing out the language just to make it clear. There's so much information flowing. We want to align things as best as possible, but no significant change for us here in San Diego, other than a validation that what we have been doing is right. And now the entire state of California will do the same.
Yeah, certainly some counties to our north have not quite been as restrictive on this as we have.
Well,
here.
They did, Andrew, they did the opposite. Many
Right.
of them had that, and then they repealed it because they got a lot of flack for it. And I think, this is a situation where you got to be willing to endure a little bit of criticism if you believe what you are doing is right and in the public health interest. And the criticism that we get from having folks wear masks pales in comparison to the criticism we'll get if we have significant surges and have to dial things back, and none of us want that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that, certainly. Lastly, Supervisor, let me ask you about this pause in reopening, if you will. You kind of talked about it earlier, but we got a list of places that will remain closed based off of this pausing of reopenings. That includes local colleges. Can you talk about that a little bit as far as what local universities and colleges need to know or how they might be affected by this right now?
Well, and again, all of those entities, the state hasn't issued guidance, so they weren't in a position where they were about to open imminently. They're still awaiting the state guidance. When the state puts out the guidance for these entities, then they usually put out a date a week or more out from the guidance about this is when they'll be eligible to open. And so we really just have to see where we go over the course of the next 4, 5, 6 days. We're not going to get any guidance from the state over the weekend, so it's probably something we'll have to reassess next week. But the triggers are put in place to give us warnings of spread, to give us warnings that our conditions are changing. And so we've always said that could cause us to take some action. And so I think we'll have a more clear picture early next week of kind of where we are and how things are progressing. My hope is those outbreaks come back down and we remain green and can continue with our reopening.
Certainly a story that literally evolves by the day. So Supervisor Nathan Fletcher, appreciate your time, insight, and all your hard work very much as always.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, talk soon.